really, really important news for you, for us as a forex trader, because currency really moves a lot when there's a news that affects the economy, that affects jobs. Currency really moves quite strongly on that news. So we could see dollar finally breaking above this bear market, which has been for quite a long time right now. So since, let's see, when was the last time? The 30th of June has been bear market, when coronavirus was really announced in the US and lockdown was getting imposed. So we could see from that day. But if this level breaks, if dollar breaks above this high and finally breaks above this level, 94.60, we could see some signs of recovery in dollar, and we could see dollar going up as high as 97.62. So that's the news we're looking at. Another news we're looking at quite closely for dollar is, let me quickly see, PPI is decent news, but it's not that important as expected. No crude oil inventories. Where is it? Yeah, initial jobless claims. Again, this is a massive news, which is on Thursday. This is one of the biggest news of the week. Every week comes out on Thursday. So again, initial jobless claim did drop last week. If you have seen, it was 1,400, but it dropped to 1,186K. Again, if we see another drop into this initial jobless claim, let's say it goes back to 100,000K, jobless claim, that would also move DXY higher, and that could be the time we could see break above 94.58. So quite important news on Monday and Thursday, guys. Keep an eye out for those two news. We could see dollar rising on those two news. So let's see what's happening when dollar rises. What will happen with EURUSD? So EURUSD currently, obviously on positive dollar, we will see some kind of a bearish momentum USD. That's what we saw. So USD currently, as dollar dropped, you can clearly see how inversely proportional both DXY and USD. Let me just pull out my DXY chart here, so you will see. So you can clearly see the blue line is DXY, and the red line, and the bar chart is USD. So when USD rises, you can see, when DXY rises, you can see USD drop. So when you can clearly see, if I just move this, you can clearly see how inversely proportional. So the highs of DXY is the lows of USD, and lows of DXY is highs of USD. So on that basis, we could see, currently USD is above a small support level, not a major support. This is only 15-minute support level, so I do not consider it as a major support level, but I do not expect USD to rise for next week, because it has some issues going on. Plus, migration crisis, and from a lot of migrants arriving in UK from countries, and also some tensions are building up between the UK and France over, how France is conducting a search for immigration personnel who coming through water. So on that news, we will have some kind of effect in euro. We could see euro drop back to lows of 1.1743 before we can see some momentum upwards. I am bullish on dollar on positive NFP. I've changed, we have to see. NFP is a big news. When NFP positive, that shows that there are some kind of job openings coming up, and that could affect, dollar quite strongly. So we are going to be in positive for dollar for next about, let's say, a week or so. Plus, I'm going to be focusing on initial jobless claims plus job loss opening news. So if that two news are positive, I'll be focusing buying dollar for next few months. So firstly, again, so if euro does drop, it can drop all the way to first level I would see for it to drop is 1.1748, and if that level breaks, we could see euro going back to lows of 1.170. But yes, quite low, could dip. We could see euro dropping 100 pips or so by end of next week. So keep an eye out for that as well, guys. Quickly look at GPUSD. So we're only going to be focusing on two USD pairs in coming weeks, because that's our main concern. Those are the most volatile pairs. Plus, they move really nicely. Yesterday, GP dropped over 100 pips on that positive NFP news. So you can clearly see how massive the news was, and that news will carry some weight, and we will see more of a drop in GP. So if I just point your so GEP failed to make a new higher high. It did go quite high. I can just draw my trend line here. It could go quite high, but just close off the market in 15 minutes, we could see a breakout of uptrend line here. So that could, indicate we could see GP dropping back to the lows of 1.298, which it was about to drop yesterday, but then it found some kind of support level at 1.3010, which is a quite strong pivot level, as you can clearly see. Any whole numbers is a quite strong pivot levels in forex trading. If you don't know what pivot levels are, you can always ask me. We do teach that kind of stuff in VIP. So if you do join VIP, you will understand what pivot levels are. But pivot levels are, just in the random terms, is mostly whole numbers. If you point anywhere, wherever you see whole numbers, you will see some kind of a momentum shift. So when GPUSD reached 1.30, there was a pivot level, price moved up, but it didn't move as much as investors wanted, and we can clearly see that is officially a downtrend. We could see GP dropping back to lows of 1.29, which it did try to do yesterday. But on a positive news, again, in coming days, for dollar, could see GP as low as 1.29. So all right, guys, that was our outlook for DXY. That was outlook for news. Let's quickly look at what's DJ30. and DAX 30. So in a simple term, DJ30 is indices of 30 big companies in US, and DAX 30 is 30 big companies in Germany. So that's what basically DJ30 and US 30 is basically. That's it. So that's all the 30 big companies are weighted in a stock which is called DAX 30 in Germany, and all those 30 countries, how they manage, how they profit, and how the earnings are, it determines how the DAX, the indices thingy moves. So let me just quickly pull out for you guys. We don't really trade DJ30 and DAX 30 that much. We mostly trade Nasdaq because that's in blue chip stocks are the best stocks to trade in this turmoil, in this massive coronavirus. It's got to be D30 then. There's always two words, D30 or DAX 30. They're both the same thing. So if you can't find sometimes DJ30, just go for DAX D30. There you go. So that's D30, that German stock. So let's see how German stock performed yesterday. So German stock performed quite strongly yesterday. Well, before close of market, we did see DAX 30. Well, it's all because of the positive news from US job loss. Because when US stocks rises, usually all the world stock rises because people start buying world stocks, people start investing in all the stocks in the world whenever we see a US performing well. So that on that basis we did see some, but no law of rise, you can clearly see it's ranging right now. Last time price was here again on 6th of August, then again on 4th of August, then again on 4th of August. So it's not massive momentum in terms of a longer time frame. It's in a range right now. So if I just draw my box here quickly, it's in the ranging box right now. So you need to see a breakout above this level for it to really be an uptrend and rise all the way highs as 1327. But currently, no massive momentum. I do not like trading ranging markets because we get caught quite easily as a retail traders. We need to be careful when it comes to trading. We cannot hold position for a long time, especially when it comes to indices. So we have to be careful. We have to be looking to trade only. Do not trade ranges when it comes to indices because you are going to blow a lot of accounts. So that's the difference. That's the only difference between DJ30 and DAX 30. They are just two stocks of Germany and US. So last question we're looking at is how to trade with fundamentals. So fundamentals, basically what I told you earlier, is look at the news. For example, initial jobless claims is the news which is going to move the market. So you see if the numbers is good, see how the market is performing. Do not enter the trade straight away. Wait for a bit, give a half an hour window, let the market do its thing, then get into the trade. Usually after when the news is good, usually we'll see some kind of a momentum opposite of what the news was. So when the news is good for US, you might see some kind of a sell pressure in the dollar, but that's only for certain time before they take out all their sell. Then market will start moving the direction it should have gone, which is up if the news is good. But if news is bad, you might see sometime dollar going up just to take out, people are selling, so just to take out the positions, and then US dollar starts going down. So that's how you trade fundamentals. You look at the news and you look at the market, but you do not enter straight away. You wait and you see. Then when you see a good opportunity, when you see market is really going the way you want it to go, then you enter the trade. Let's quickly at gold, guys. So gold. That's the main thing. This week gold has been the star of the show, been rising crazy. But yesterday we can clearly see gold drop nearly. How many points did it drop yesterday? Let me quickly check. It dropped over 2064 all the way to it dropped over 50 points, which is about 500 pips yesterday. So if somebody caught that, kudos to them, and good for you. And hopefully had a big position. You might be a millionaire right now. So again, gold currently rising, most likely not going to rise above 2039 when market opens. We are seeing some kind of resistance here. Last time price was here on a short time frame, is quite a strong resistance. 15-minute time frame, 2039 is quite a strong resistance. So we will see probably gold rise all the way here. But let's go to a daily time frame where we can clearly see the big picture of gold. So on daily time frame, gold still is very strongly bullish. Clearly on daily time frame, this pullback looks nothing in terms of what the trend has been. So overall, gold is still a very, very strong buy. But as a short-term trader, as a retail trader, we do not like to trend trade with gold. We like to gain quick scalps, quick in and out, but that's the best way to trade gold as a retail trader. If you're a fund manager, if you're a hedge fund, then obviously you want to hold a position for months and years, but we do not do that at TOP. So let me just draw some trend lines here. Trend line breakout at 15 minutes when the market closed. We could see gold rising all the way up to 2039, which is about 4 points. When the market opens, we need to see how gold reacts when the market opens. If the gold does break above this level, we could see gold by the end of the day on Monday. We could see gold rising all the way to the highs to 2065, which was the previous high. So again, quite important how the fundamental news comes out over the weekend and how the US reacts to China stimulus and elections. So that's it, guys. That's the outlook for the weekly watch list. That's the weekly watch list. concluded. Again, if you have any question, you can ask me right now, and I'm more than happy to help you. Mutadar Kadu, how many pips do you make per week? So it depends what we're trading. Are you in Forex? In Forex, we have a different pips. In Forex, we call about 300 pips. And indices, we do not trade indices as much as we, only some premium group get indices because they have accounts over 1K. As that only you can get indices, but we do not really. Last week we didn't send any trade indices in VIP because market was just so choppy, so did not have any indices pips. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you tomorrow, Monday, when we have a more Zoom calls to conclude the day. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me, and you can always DM us on Instagram. You can always text us on WhatsApp. What to look out for Monday news and Thursday. So Monday we have a JOBLOTS opening. So Monday news, the main news that you should be looking at is at let me just go to Monday quickly. Is at 3 p.m. GMT, which is JOBLOTS opening. So this news here. JOBLOTS opening on Thursday. We have let's quickly go. Initial jobless claims. That's the main news on Thursday. Initial jobless claims. So two big US news for next week. JOBLOTS on Monday and initial jobless claims on Thursday. All right, guys. Thank you so much.